The 2015 Nigeria Leadership Training Trip began with a flight from Gainesville, Florida to Atlanta, then overnight to Paris, and on to Abuja the next afternoon. After spending the night in Abuja, we drove to Jos in Plateau State. Ministry began Sunday morning at Faithway Chapel with my friend Pastor Sam Alaha. Sam has a beautiful building seating about 250, and it was mostly full. This is Sam on the left with his wife and Reverend E.J. Obiora, the director of Springfield Bible Training Center. Monday through Friday, I ministered in the School of Ministry at Springfield Bible Training Center to 18 students and graduates of SBTC. This is an annual event. We have partnered with SBTC for its entire 16 years existence. It has over 115 graduates ministering across West Africa. One SBTC graduate not only pastors but has started a school for nursery, preschool, and grades 1 through 4. I was invited to come and dedicate and bless this work. On Thursday evening, I began conducting a 4-service conference at Springfield International Church with Pastor Wally Opadoden. After the 3 evening sessions, the meeting concluded on Sunday morning. Immediately following the Sunday a.m. service, I was taken to Solid Rock Assembly for a second service. This was my first time with this pastor and his congregation. He was very gracious and the ministry was well received. We prayed over his evangelistic team at the conclusion of the service. The second week began with 3 days teaching at the International College of Ministries, or ICOM as it is known. ICOM was the first school where I taught back in 1991. It was at ICOM that I met Reverend E.J. Obiora, the director of Springfield Bible Training Center, when he was an ICOM student. My ministry time in Jos concluded on Wednesday evening when I was the speaker at the opening session of the annual convention of Excellent Life Power Assembly, another church new to me. There was a fuel crisis in Nigeria in May. One petrol station, shown circled in red, had a fuel queue that stretched from it around the corner past the ministry building we were in, to the other end of the street and around that corner for another 100 yards. Some enterprising members of the ministry walked to the station with their containers and brought the fuel back to the vehicles parked at the ministry. This same fuel crisis delayed my Thursday flight from Jos to Lagos by about 2 hours. Friday evening, I had the privilege of ministering to some of the leaders of the Full Gospel Church of God congregations around Lagos. I had met these men and women when I was there 2 years earlier. On Sunday morning, Reverend Alex Abiola, National Overseer for the Church of God in Nigeria, took me to the New Wine Assembly in Ayatoro, about an hour away. The pastor, Johnson Amoa, was one of those attending the Friday session. This congregation is less than 3 years old, but they've constructed a nice building in which to worship. It still needs doors and windows, and the floor is still dirt, but everything is paid for at this point, and the congregation has grown from its initial 3 families to more than 50 people. Tuesday we flew to Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, and on Wednesday evening I ministered at the Peacemaker Worship Assembly, a Full Gospel Church of God church. The Full Gospel Church of God national headquarters is located in Abak, about 20 to 30 minutes by car from Uyo. There is a huge hall for services, the School of Theology, a preschool and elementary school, as well as the Uadak Abasi Clinic and a nursing school, all operated by the Church of God. Under the direction of Bishop Alex Abiola and his assistant overseer, Ewan Noah, all of the schools and the clinic are self-supporting. Rose Noah, Reverend Ewan's wife, is the acting head of the women's ministry. The National Women's Conference was held there, and evangelist Daisy Allen from West Palm Beach, Florida, was the speaker. Opening night, the attendance was about 400, and it swelled to over 600 by Saturday evening. She did a marvelous job. In each service, the altars were filled with women wanting prayer. During the days, Curtis Allen, Daisy's husband, and I were able to spend 2 sessions each addressing the 26 men and women attending the School of Theology. I also administered a session to the pastors' wives and female pastors who attended the conference. My flight from Uyo back to Abuja was diverted to Port Harcourt because of the lack of fuel in Uyo, but I still got to Abuja. After a 9-hour wait in the Abuja airport, I boarded my flight to Paris just before midnight and then flew on to the U.S. the next morning. In total, it was a great trip. I had 32 teaching and preaching sessions in 12 different venues, in 5 different cities and towns, in 4 different states, over 23 days in country. God is very good.